Fred Richani, TSC, here at the Action Martial Arts Hall of Fame weekend, staying alongside the Sopranos alum Vincent Pastore. Mr. Pastore, how's everything going?
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's the second time I'm down here. I love coming down here. I meet a bunch of great people. I get involved with this organization year after year, and it's like becoming my second family now. I come down with Chuck Zito, and I hang out with Bobby Samuels. We just did a movie together. There's a kung fu movie with wise guys called Made in Chinatown. So I'm kind of like stepping into that world, that genre now, you know. And we got a couple more projects coming up where we're going to incorporate, you know, the wise guy attitude with the martial arts. It should be good.
It sounds pretty awesome. Now, of course, with Sopranos and everything, they're working on the prequel.
Yeah.
Now, I know you can't say too much,
No,
but
the prequel's done.
okay.
I do know that Michael Gandolfini played the role of Tony Soprano, Jimmy's kid. He played Tony Soprano as a kid. And I know Ray Liotta's in it, and it's got a great cast. And it's coming out soon, and it's all about Newark, New Jersey, and the riots in the 60s.
Now, here's the thing, though. I know about those cast members. I was going to ask about you.
Am I in it?
Yeah.
No, I'm dead, man. I got whacked. You know, it's funny when a lot of people come up to me because I'm running around now with Michael Imperioli and Steve Schirripa. We do a show called Conversations with the Sopranos. We went to Australia. We're going to Great Britain, Canada. We're going all over. And it's a talk show. People are very, very interested in the behind the scenes of what happened with the Sopranos, the making of the Sopranos. And it's 20 years later, and we're on a great ride. And then you got things like this where you can meet your fans. Yeah, we're doing well. We did 7 cities in Australia, and we got 14 cities booked in Great Britain.
Wow.
Booked. Glasgow is sold out already.
That's crazy.
Why, you want to come?
Sure, why not? If you could bring me on the private jet.
We were doing London Palladium. We had one show. Now we added a second show. I mean, I feel like we're the Beatles going over there. And we're doing Liverpool. So I said to Michael, we got to cross Abbey Road and let Michael take his shoes off.
Does it surprise you at all about the enduring success of the show? Obviously, it's a classic, but I mean, 20 years later?
Who thought when you were working on a show, 20 years ago, that 20 years later, it becomes a classic? I mean, there are kids that come up to me now because there's so many different ways you could watch The Sopranos. When we came out, you could only watch it by turning on HBO. You had to pay for it. But now you got demand, you got DVDs, you got YouTube, anything. And kids are watching it. I had a guy come up to me in a restaurant last night. We were in Carmine's, and he was about 14. He said, I'm a big fan. I says, what'd you watch, Shark Tale? Which was my animated movie. He says, nah, I watch Sopranos all the time. So we're getting new markets.
I'm sure you learned a lot about martial arts and boxing and combat. And here with Bullying, We're Kicking It, they're trying not to spread the good word about anti-bullying, but they're trying to encourage people to do.
I did a movie called Bully. That's another thing. We did a movie over in Tom's River called Bully, and it's starting to float around. So I hope that puts the word out a little. And the organization is asking me to do some charities with them, and I said yes.
Great stuff. Well, before we let you go, sir, we appreciate the time. Where can fans find you online, and where can they find you next on screen?
Made in Chinatown has my director over here, Bobby Samuels. Made in Chinatown, it just came out. We had a screening in Newark. We just showed it in New York City, and our next stop is Philadelphia. It's a nice independent, and it's starting to roll, and it's very, very funny. Very funny. It's about this Chinese kid from Chinatown who wants to be a wise guy. You know, it's very funny. So that's my big project. I just did a movie with Val Kilmer and William Fichtner and Ewan McGregor called Birthday Cake. That's coming out. And I get to tour with the Sopranos, and then I run around with my band. My next stop is Resorts. I got a band called the Gangster Squad.
Fantastic.
And that's my life. Bullying. We are kicking it.
Fred Richani here for TSC and Kicking It with Vincent Pastore. We're here at the Atlantic City Martial Arts Hall of Fame run by Master Alan Goldberg. Sir, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. 20-year anniversary of The Sopranos. We're all running around, signings, appearances. They're talking about they're putting together a prequel of the movie. I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm down here with my friend Chuck Zito. And no, I never did any martial arts, but I was a boxer when I was younger.
Okay, you were a boxer when you were younger. Is it weird, though, to kind of be in a room when you're not the toughest guy?
Who said I'm not the toughest guy?
There were some rumors. Of course, I didn't say that.
Why, because I'm a big pussy?
I don't know about that. There were some people that said, you know what, we might be able to take you on in a fight. Obviously, I would never challenge you, but we've heard some things from maybe Mr. Zito or
Chucky. Don't talk bad about me. No. I mean, I can handle myself. Yeah, I'm 72 years old. I'm old enough to be your father.
You do not look 72, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
I'm old enough to be a grandfather.
You look great, though. What's your secret to aging, man? You look great.
I work a lot. I keep busy. People say to me, I can't believe you work every day or someplace you travel. When I take a day off, I'm home in the house. I live on City Island. I'm getting caught up on my paperwork, and I teach, so I'm going over scenes and stuff. But I travel a lot. I think the traveling and the energy and watching your diet keeps you a lot younger.
Is it crazy to think that it's been 20 years since The Sopranos? I mean, it is such an iconic, well-remembered series. Do you ever get tired of being remembered for a Sopranos role?
No, I think it's awesome that here I'm 20 years later, and I'm able to meet people who are very. They were so much into that show, and new people are watching it, because they rebooted it on HBO again. We get new fans. It's really nice that it's been a 20-year run, and we're like the Godfather of television. The Godfather's always played on television, and when people watch The Sopranos, no matter what episode they happen to turn in on, they get caught up into it, and they'll watch it again. Good television. Good writing, good films. People want to watch them again. How many times have you seen Raging Bull? How many times have you seen West Side Story? I mean, Goodfellas. If it's a good film, you're going to want to watch it again.
And do you feel like that technology has only helped the legacy of The Sopranos and your acting career? Because it's so easy now for people to watch, and people that, may not even been alive during the original run of Sopranos are now watching it and catching up. Well,
technology has hurt our residuals, because if you watch it on YouTube, we don't get any money. But no, it's all good. It's like this thing. I did Shark Tale. I did this with De Niro, Michael Imperioli, Jack Black. And animated features, the residuals are unbelievable, because years later, kids, you have a baby and they grow up, and like my granddaughter just watched it for the first time, So an animated thing, you get your residuals forever. And now with Sopranos, we'll get residuals forever,
So do you feel like the streaming and everything, it still has a ways to catch up, kind of like syndication as far as like paying the actors and everything? Because at the end of the day, while it's nice that you can watch these shows, the actors still got to get paid.
Yeah. I mean, Screen Actors Guild is really on top of the residuals, so one way or another, you get a check from something. I mean, I'm getting checks from State of Grace. I had like one line in it. I'm getting checks from Goodfellas. I had one line in it. And they're on top of that, So when you got a project like this, which is, like when I do Hawaii 5-0, when they rerun it again, Screen Actors Guild, you get a nice residual check. This is a good way to live. And I have my pension now from Screen Actors Guild, So say, Vinny, what are you doing here then if you got a pension? This is called gas money.
Now, you mentioned before at the top of the interview the prequel that they're working on for The Sopranos. They are casting James Gandolfini's son. I don't know how much interaction you've had with him over the years. I wish him the very best, but those are some awfully big shoes to fill. What's your assessment on him taking on this role and stepping into the spotlight?
Well, number one, the role isn't that big. I mean, it's not all about him. It's about the family. It's about his father and his Uncle Junior and his mother. The kids, I don't think they're going to have that big of a part in the show, but they're in the show, You know, and I think it's beautiful that Michael's playing Jimmy's role. You know, again, I think it's a beautiful thing.
We're also here for Alan Goldberg's charity, Bullion. We're kicking it. Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of educating kids through martial arts, or in your case, boxing, and through sports, and just positive reinforcement, and as far as how to grow up and overcome the obstacles in front of them?
Well, when I was a kid, me and Chucky grew up in a tough neighborhood, West New Rochelle, and we were taught, somebody comes after you, grab a stick and you hit it with them. Now the kids are being taught how to do martial arts. They don't need to grab a stick. They know how to defend themselves. And it's very important also for young girls, you know. The martial arts is very, very important. Plus, it trains your mind. You know, I meet some of these kids like today, and they're really good kids, you know, and they're tough kids. So what I'm beginning to learn from being around martial art people like Chuck and, you know, it cultures your mind, you know. So if I had to relive my life all over again, I'd want to come back as Bruce Lee.
Not a bad life, right?
He was a badass. One of all-time movies ever is Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee and John Saxon. Awesome movie. Could watch it over and over again.
You want to talk about legacies? We talked about The Sopranos and everything else, but I mean, Bruce Lee and martial artists and martial arts and movies, I mean, that can leave a lasting impact. I mean, you're still talking about it to this day, decades later. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Right. Yeah, well, James has gone down, Gandolfini has gone down as one of the most iconic characters on television, and people surrounded him. Michael, who played Christopher, Steve Schirripa, Bobby Bacala, Tony Sirico, Paulie Walnuts. These are our second names. I walk down the street. Even when I sign this stuff, I sign Big Pussy. This is, you know, this is our legacy. You know, my daughter. She, you know, she's a little embarrassed, but she knows her father's nickname is Big Pussy.
And before we let you go, where can fans find you online and everything you got going on?
Well, the next time I'm down here, I'm at the Borgata at February 9th with Michael Imperioli and Steve Schirripa. We're doing a Sopranos event, and you can get tickets at the Borgata. And then I'm doing a play with little Steven Van Zandt up in the city at the Cutting Room. And I'm doing a lot of television, but that stuff really isn't coming out yet. But the thing that's really running around with me now is Sopranos. With that, we say goodbye. We'll see you again, and forget about it. Hey, this is Vincent Pastore, and as far as bullying, we're kicking it.